Oh, really? Really, WWE? You decided to do that, and you didn't even let me know? That was great, and I don't care what anyone else says. I had a fun time, because as bad as it is for a lot of people, I was not expecting that eventful of a show. It was pretty eventful and pretty newsworthy. Let's go through it. How is everyone doing? It's your boy here, Apollo from Down, Down, Up, Up. And of course, today's discussion on Talk Apollo Talk, Money in the Bank. Yes, WWE Money in the Bank 2022 has been written in the books. And when I say written, I probably mean rewritten at least a dozen times, considering what we got. But again, I gotta go back to my staple on the channel, guys. You don't put your faith as a fan into the WWE anymore. You don't do it. You don't do it, because it's gonna be dropped. It's gonna be crushed and let down on such a consistent basis. It will suck the wrestling fan right out of you. AEW, that is where I put a lot of my stock into, where they keep me consistently happy, entertained, and invested in long-term booking. But with that being said, that makes WWE shows like these a lot more entertaining for me to enjoy. Let's try to run down it, get through it. Outside of that, I hope everybody is still having a lovely weekend. Sorry if this is up a bit late. I've been busy. It's been a busy weekend, but a fun weekend, and I very much appreciated it. I will see you guys, I guess the end of July after this, unless some other things come up. Maybe, maybe not, we'll see. But if I don't, I hope y'all continue to enjoy the summer. And to all Americans watching this, I hope you enjoy your Independence Day, July 4th tomorrow. Back to WWE. So Money in the Bank happened. Another pointless 1-hour kickoff. When I say pointless, I mean, where's the kickoff match? Where's the investment to watch the kickoff? Gone. Again, pathetic. Outside of the show, though, there is one thing I'd like to minorly bring up. There was a very strange sort of promo hallucination, spooky voodoo nonsense segment that happened in the middle of the show. I don't remember when. It seems like everyone is screaming Bray Wyatt. And yes, it probably could be, and I just really don't care at this point. But there was one thing that caught my friend's eyes when he mentioned it. Olympic medals. Now, is this what they're going to be doing with Gable Stevenson? I'm not sure. And I apologize if I botch his name, because I haven't heard it in a while, and I wasn't really familiar too much with him until he was presented in WWE, because I'm not a big watcher of the Olympics. Just being honest. So that's more what I was leaning towards, even though it sounds even more confusing. I don't know, it seemed to be related to something new and spooky coming to WWE at some point. We'll see. We'll see. Just had to bring it up. You guys let me know what you think it is. Help me if you can. I really couldn't be bothered. Let's start the show. So, we started with the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, and oh boy. It was painful. There were certainly some spots that didn't look like they should have gone as well. Bliss just breaking her back on the ladder. Shotzi doing that senton, my lord. The back of that woman's head. I hope she's okay. I hope a lot of people are okay. But when you got down to the nitty-gritty, Becky Lynch looked like she was ready to steal it, but I never got that secure feeling I thought. And then, oh, they did it a year late. They trolled me. They trolled me. Liv Morgan was able to balance herself when Becky was trying to knock her off, kick Becky off, and win the briefcase. Liv Morgan wins the women's Money in the Bank briefcase. What a good feel moment to start in the show. And of course we're not done yet, but for now, bear with me. I'm trying to go in order. Liv Morgan got to win the briefcase. What a heartwarming moment. And of course, we had the promo. She said that WrestleMania sounded fine for cashing in. Haha, you troll. Moving on. United States Championship match. This was a swerve. My goodness, this was a swerve. After a fair match, I liked the last little bit. The last little sequences were good. Wasn't a fan of the earlier parts of this match with Theory and Lashley. I'm thinking, okay, this is it. Theory gets that definitive win. he gets to beat Bobby Lashley like only Vince McMahon's prodigy can. He speared Lashley, for goodness sake, and I thought, boom, A-Town down, we're about to call this, but no! Lashley counters into the Hurt Lock and gets a submission! Bobby Lashley is a 3-time United States champion, beats the prodigy, and my goodness, I can't believe it, but the face turn for Lashley has paid off to another championship. It's refreshing to see Lashley with the United States title again. I remember enjoying his last run with the title because he was heavily featured on TV at the time. And he still is right now, so let's see where that goes. Good job, Lashley. But of course we weren't then, and I should have seen it coming. I should have seen it coming then. But I didn't. Let's try to keep going, though. Keep heads above the water, if you know what I mean. Bianca Belair and Carmella. It was okay. This was probably the weakest point of the night for me and the most predictable part of the night because after a little match, Bianca just hit the KOD and retained the Raw Women's title. Carmella did attack her after the match, though, so that was some real teasing for, oh, wait a second, is Liv Morgan going to cash in? Is someone going to come out? Because let's be honest, if there were 2 people rumored for this show in my head, it was Bayley and Charlotte Flair. But no, we had Bianca just get up, her music played, Carmella walking away angry, and to my guess, they'll probably rematch this on Raw, and then maybe something will happen? Not sure, we'll see what we get. Usos Street Profits. Match of the night. Yep, I said it. I enjoyed the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, I enjoyed the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, but the Usos and the Street Profits got me out of my chair multiple times. The crowd was going crazy for it. And what a very interesting choice of style for this match because the Usos were just dominating the Profits in the early going. My goodness, just brutal. Honestly, every hot tag the Profits just got turned into nothing until finally the turnaround. We're hitting the big moves. We're waiting for the chances. I cannot believe we had a kick out of the Street Sweeper from the Profits. But oh boy, did the finish leave some a bit interessante, muy importante, how very interesting or mega, depending on what fan of the party you are. Because the Usos got the 1D. 1, 2, 3. Usos did retain the championships. My little prediction turned out to be a waste in my video, but damn, I was excited for this and I wasn't disappointed. And then they replay the pin. Was Ford shoulder up, and then Ford and Dawkins are complaining in the ring. Ford even lets an F-bomb go. That didn't even get bleeped. And then they show it again, and then the crowd begins to boo because, yes, it was Usos' fault when he got the pin because he seemed to lift the shoulder up, but the shoulder was up nonetheless. Ladies and gentlemen, Usos got a tainted win, pardon me, over the Profits. So this leads me to believe these 2 teams are not finished with each other yet. They should go to SummerSlam, and the Street Profits should beat the Usos at SummerSlam to make Roman Reigns' match seem a lot more interesting. I'm hoping. We'll see what we get. And then the SmackDown Women's Championship. Wow. First off, nice little match. Natalya and Ronda were a bit slow to start. I had 2018/19 exceptions for this match because I remember liking their Raw match from a couple of years ago. But then we get into some technical and submission reversals, and I'm like, yeah, these 2 know what they're doing. Ronda Rousey ended up retaining by submission with an inadvertent arm breaker / triangle choke. She's hurting, though. Her leg had definitely been worked on in the match, and then Liv Morgan's music hit, and she came to the ring, and the crowd was screaming, and she did cash in Money in the Bank. But then Ronda immediately grabs her for the ankle lock, and she has it in a good 20 seconds. I'm just like, oh my gosh, what is happening? No Bayley, no Charlotte. We're getting a cash in. It's happening. Liv's not going to tap, is she? She said, no, she didn't. She was able to kick Ronda's bad leg, go for the pin roll up. 1, 2, 3. Liv Morgan wins the SmackDown Women's title. And compared to the rest of the show, this is how the show should have ended on a good note term. Of course, it didn't, and I'm not complaining, but I'm just saying. It felt so good to see Liv Morgan get it done. The women's briefcase continues to go to babyfaces who cash in extremely quick. It's probably a mixed bag for the fans when it comes to, oh, well, they just can't book a briefcase holder anymore. They're freaking pathetic. And you're right, other than the fact that the women's cash-ins have been really cool the past couple of years. I've really wanted to see them get the job done. Bayley beating Charlotte was great in 2019. Asuka getting it from Becky did make all the sense in the world then. Who knows if there were any original plans for that. Last year, Nikki ASH cashing in on Raw was awesome for me. And now Liv Morgan beating Ronda Rousey is great. So happy for Liv. So happy. Now let's get back to reality. Oh, sweet mother. Men's Money in the Bank. I was ready. Honestly, I'll be honest with you guys. I was ready for an 8th person. This is something I deliberately left out of my prediction video because I wasn't really sure who. I was starting to think Cena. But then I'm thinking they would have announced that on Raw, right? But hey, the men came out, and then Adam Pearce came out, and out Theory came. The man who lost the United States Championship earlier in the night was put into the Money in the Bank ladder match, and after a tremendous match, really great match, really well orchestrated match. I hope Sami Zayn's okay though. That was a bit scary. One of his bumps in the match. After a great match, we're starting to think who's getting it. Omos has been buried under ladders and put through the table. Rollins gets RKO'd off of the ladder by Riddle. Drew and Sheamus take a nasty tumble on the ladder, and Riddle's climbing. And Theory got back in. He knocked Riddle off. A-Town down. Austin Theory won Money in the Bank. And if you all remember, I was discussing Money in the Bank earlier this year, and I brought up Theory's name. I thought for sure he's the shoo-in. He's the shoo-in. If he's in the match, he's going to win. But then he wasn't put in the match. And I'm like, all right, man. It's disappointing. But then they do that. And that completely rectifies everything I was talking about earlier this year. I love it. It is a shame when it comes to certain things. Because Seth Rollins did need it. Without a doubt. Seth Rollins is just great. And should be in this kind of spot right now. But it's not working out. Congratulations to him, though. Because he did win the Up, Up, Down, Down championships this weekend. And honestly, that's probably a more investment for me than anything on WWE programming at the moment. So good job, Rollins. Drew, on the other hand, he didn't need it. I picked Drew because I was worried they would just give him the briefcase and have him cash in at Clash of the Castle. At least I know that's not what the briefcase is going to be used for this year. But what is it going to be used for? Is Theory going to cash in at SummerSlam? Will he win the championship? There's a lot of directions this can go. He could save it for quite a while, if I'm being honest. Because it's Theory. He can make this work. And he could also just go in for it. He could win at SummerSlam, and then he could lose it to McIntyre. He could lose the titles to McIntyre at Clash at the Castle. There's a lot of directions this can go. For now, I'm going to keep my personal ones to myself, because I'm really looking forward to some nonsense at the end of the month. And that's it. That's Money in the Bank. Oh my gosh, just a ridiculous fun time if you don't put too much of your hardcore investment into WWE. Mine is all for fun and nonsense at the moment. I enjoyed the show. I look forward to where they're going. I will see you guys in another video. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Enjoy your weekend. Let me know where you see things going when we get to SummerSlam. Keep it real.